Hello, everybody. Well, this is video 3 in the we're getting back on schedule series. And today I kind of wanted to just go over everything I've drawn this year so far. It is June 29th, so we're capping off the first 6 months of the year. And yeah, I just figured I'd make a little video where we go over everything I drew at the beginning of the year. And kind of at the end of last year, I decided I'm going back all in on art. I've consistently drawn for probably two years now, but I mean, I'm going in like this is it. We are drawing every day. We are finishing pieces left, right, and center, and I have been. So I think there's been some improvement for sure. So I think we're just gonna get into it. All right, I am cheating a little bit. This is a piece I did in January. I started really getting back, or not January, December. I started really getting back into comics. I was reading them very consistently. I still am, and was really enjoying Absolute Batman. So I decided to draw Fred Durst, Absolute Batman. Great idea. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Now, I don't think this is the worst drawing. I really don't. I think it's simple enough, but there's definitely some room for improvement. That middle finger on that right hand is kind of scary. Next up, I think I did this one end of December area, and I wanted to make my lines a little bit more readable. That's kind of an ongoing theme. I mean, that's like an ongoing art process constantly. So, you know, we'll get there eventually. But this was kind of the implant idea that went to my head. And you know what? I think it's too simple. I think this art is now too simple. I wish I had put a little bit more detail into some of the things, like how gross the suit might be. Yeah, there's a lot of cracks on it, but the suit's not made of like clay. So, and I think it looks like it's kind of made of clay. But, you know, maybe if I colored it, it'd look better. So maybe we'll color it, because I still do kind of like this piece. I'm not gonna lie. All right, and then moving on to actually, I have this one. Actually, I've got both of those, but got this one in the portfolio. Or I guess I should just say collection of art, because it's not really a portfolio worthy yet. But this was the first drawing of 2026. This was a, you know, I hate AI, obviously. You should too. If you don't, get off my channel. Just go. I wanted to do, I was doing a couple political pieces. I had one from last year, protesting our glorious leader. And I wanted to do one against AI. And, you know, I still kind of enjoy this piece a bit. I think Godzilla could look a lot better. But I think the more glaring issue is as nature points out the folly of, it looks like Nen. It's supposed to be an M, because this is a Blue Oyster Cult lyric.
Well, no shit.
And then I decided I wanted to start getting into bigger pieces, okay? And that started with this Bane drawing. And there's a lot wrong here. A lot. First of all, up in that little the top, I didn't even erase the end sketch. I also had no clue how to do backgrounds. I mean, I still don't, but I definitely have a little bit more now. The background is messy. It looks bad. And I'll be honest, I think Bane could look a bit better. If I do say so myself. I'm still learning how to do cross-hatching, but for some reason at this time, I kind of just threw it out the window. And you're gonna see that there's a couple pieces in here where I brought it back, and I brought it back a little too hard. So yeah, I don't know what I was really doing on this one in some spots, but I guess if I could say I liked a couple things. I like the shading on the boot. And I like the perspective of Bane. I think I could have worked with his other leg a little bit more, but yeah, it's okay. It's okay. All right. And here was my first piece I ever did on Bristol and in an 11 by 17. And at the time, this is in January, by the way, I was super proud of it. I was really happy with how I did the perspective and how the sword is coming down. And you know, honestly, I still kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie. And I also I think the best thing on this drawing is his arms. I think they look pretty good. Proportion wise, I think they look really good. And yeah, this piece definitely needs to get colored if it's gonna reach its full potential. But I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon. And then I also drew Ghost Rider. The glaring issue about this picture is the guy looks really tiny compared to him, which, you know, that could be passable. I could write that off. I won't lie. I actually think Ghost Rider looks pretty decent. Not too disappointed with how I did Ghost Rider. Although I'd make his eyes a little smaller and a little more feathery if I was to do this piece again. And I'd redo the guy he's holding. And I'd redo his hair. I'd make it look a little more hairy rather than well, he looks kind of like stone right now. But I think the perspective's okay. I actually don't hate this piece. All right. And here's one that I actually do really like, but I think I messed it up a little bit. That spot down in the bottom right corner with all the like crazy cross hatching, that don't look good. That don't look great. I think what I should have done is either should have went more on the cross hatching. I know that sounds crazy, but I think it would have given the rocks a little bit more texture if I went harder on the cross hatching, or just left it out completely. So it was kind of one or the other. And I do think that this piece is kind of fixable with that. So I might do that because I actually like this one. So yeah, that's really all I got to say about this one. Also, colored in the background really weird. Just the way I inked it. I could definitely fix that in like editing and stuff, but I just put like big blotches of ink on the back and kind of smudged it around with a brush, which, you know, it made it black, but like smudgy black. It's not like consistent all the way through. Oh well. Okay. And here's a piece I never finished. This is also on Bristol. Cyclops, obviously. The biggest, I think, reason I have not finished this drawing is it's got, if I went back and did it, it would look, or finished it, the rest of the drawing would look nothing like Cyclops, I don't think. I was really heavily relying on like fine liners for the outline, and I'm not, like, they're all the same line, which can work, it can, but it's not really what I wanted to do or want to do anymore. I actually do think I did the shading on his body okay. So again, yeah, I don't hate this one, but it's probably not ever gonna get finished, but who knows? Maybe. So now we're gonna move on to some practice that I've done for a while. You know, obviously, you know, I try and practice every day. But for a moment, I was literally just drawing hands. But we're gonna get to that. Well, I'll just grab the sketchbook. So this is a little sketchbook that I was taking kind of everywhere with me, drawing stuff on my breaks, and just trying to get back into it. This looks horrible. Terrible little sketch. I think I did that, although I did think I did it in like a minute. I did this at the doctor's office or vet. It's okay. I forget the reference image that I was using. I actually kind of like this one. I do a lot of outlines and jot a lot of like ideas down that I would love to turn into a bigger piece. And I think I would like to expand on this one. This is a kind of a copy of another person's art, so I would change it a bit, but like just the battle damaged idea of Megatron And then I was trying to do some female portrait. I wanted to start nailing that down, but I need to start doing what I was doing with the hands with faces, where I was just drawing faces, or where I would just be drawing faces. And I started that, but I didn't do it for very long. I did it for like a week. But here's one of these faces. I did a Catwoman. This is I forget whose art this is that I referenced. Some figure drawing, just the Cyber Demon. More figure drawing. I did a Batman where he's like covering himself up with his cape. More figure drawing, some form of web slinger. Figure drawing, Liberty Prime and Enclave. This was just like a little practice with a new pen I got, just going straight in on a old figure sketch. I think that's supposed to be an Ironmonger, Predator, Spider-Man, Venom. Here's where I did some more portrait stuff. I don't remember what this is from. It kind of looks like Ron Perlman to me a little bit, but I actually kind of like this one. I'm not gonna lie. Good old Spawn sketch. Started a sketch on the Doomslayer, never quite finished that. Started a really bad sketch on Magneto, never finished that. Here, sketching of the just female body. These were all pen sketches that I was doing. This Spider-Man 2099 one, the face looks kind of cool, I guess. Head sketches. Start of a Mark 1. Armor is something I've always struggled with a little bit, so, and I've been working on that actually. Here we go. I started drawing hands for every day for a month, and I don't know what happened here, but I actually just forgot. Like, I straight up forgot how to just draw a single hand. And I was like sitting there and I was like, hey, you're not that bad, pal. Yeah, I did another page. This was in the same, 20 minutes. I just couldn't do it. It was kind of killing me. And then, I'm not kidding you, like an hour later, just straight, like, went from geek to locked in. I don't know what the deal was on that. There's another set of hands, another set of hands, hands. This is another thing I'd like to start doing more of. Drawing the skeleton of something and labeling each part of it. It's stuff like this and reading George Bridgman. Yeah, George Bridgman's is dynamic posing, I think. He breaks down a lot of anatomy, and it's kind of helpful to think about it. There's a good hand, I would say. I drew this and then I inked it like 2 weeks later because I was bored. Another hand, just sitting down and drawing exactly what's in front of you. I've heard that's very good for just learning how to draw specific things, and we all need to get a little bit better at that. And that is it. That is it for that little practice sketchbook. For the moment, I still have about that much left. Here are some really bad drawings that I didn't even post online. Nobody saw this or anything. This,
Holy Jesus. What is that?
Spider-Man vs. Carnage. I don't know what happened that day. I kind of just forgot how to draw. Sometimes that happens, and then I forgot how to ink. And I was going through like a 2-day little split where I just could not do anything. Same thing with this one. The lizard looks okay, but Spider-Man, no. And weirdly, I kind of suck at drawing Spider-Man. I don't really know why, but every time I draw Spider-Man, he's come out kind of flat. But I did draw Spider-Man pretty recently in a sketchbook, and he looked better. Moving on to another sketchbook. Here is a big one. I've had this sketchbook for a while. I started this drawing, and I do think I'm going to work on this. This is like a Thor diving into a Mangog, or just, the Mangog. And, I haven't inked it, and I haven't even finished this sketch, but I think it'd be a really badass drawing. The Hulk drawing I started and never did. Another BS page. Okay. Then we get to some that I've started and I'm thinking about finishing. There's a Magneto. Skybite from Transformers. This is an original character of mine, Cecil. I think it'd be fun to do a Cecil drawing. These are, these are incredibly just loose outlines that I've started. So I don't even consider these like sketches. These are just an idea that is jotted down at this very moment. Oh, here's some hand drawing that I did in this one. Here's a Darth Vader drawing that I started inking, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. It's the sketch. I really started to trying to work on clean lines, and that was pretty much like right after this drawing. It's just not clicking with me. So either what I do is I go over it with a kneaded eraser and just sketch over everything again, which is, that's probably the right thing to do. Some Loomis method, more portrait practice. Here's like a night guy that I made up. And, same thing. Just not feeling it with him. The shading is kind of off. There's some more portrait practice. Not great, but, we're getting there. I'll leave my last drawing in there till later. We'll get back to the finished pieces. So this is a Spawn drawing that I did, and this was the first time I ever used colored inks. And I like it. I do. I do think this is a pretty decent drawing. I wish I would have went harder on the cross-hatching. There is not enough cross-hatching on this drawing. It's a weird ebb and flow with me in cross-hatching. I either use it too much or I don't use it enough. But I think we're getting there with using it just right. This was my first ever commission that I did this year, and it's cute. I think it's cute. It's more on the simple end. If I was going to go back and change anything at all, be the clouds. I would not line them. I don't know what it is with me and why I feel the need to line everything. You don't need to line everything. I drew this hound drawing, kind of like this one for the most part. I think the smoke, again, who lined? The effect on his gun, who lined? Other than that, though, I think this is a starting to be a good bridge into my more detailed and like thought out line work. I forgot I even drew this. I'm not gonna lie, this was supposed to be like a kind of cool Ender Dragon, I guess. I mean, the Ender Dragon's pretty cool, but here's another one that I kind of forgot that I drew. I also colored it, and I really hate how it looks colored. Not everyone's a winner. This is another bridge into better line work. All right, here I did a Iron Man Mark 1, and I like it for the most part, but he's very stiff. A very, very stiff line work. Like around the neck, around the head, the fingers, there's almost no line weight. And I think that's why I didn't like this drawing too much. Kind of throughout this whole drawing, there's not a lot of line weight except around his eyes a little bit, and actually around the wiring in his chest. I think that's the best looking part of the drawing. It's a Deathclaw. This is kind of where I feel like I was hitting my stride just a little more. The line weight, again, around the body is too stiff. It's all kind of the same line, but going inwards, I definitely loosened it up a bit, and it especially like around the horns, I actually kind of like this drawing. This Optimus piece that I did, and this is another one that I completely forgot that I did. I actually almost put no cross-hatching on this now that I look at it. The axe looks bad. The axe looks really bad. This is the first piece I did where I really went into it thinking like, okay, we gotta change up this line work, dude. Like, we really do. The idea is there. It is there. I see it. Around the toe, on the tail, on the face and in the mouth. We got a lot of different line weights here. We just hadn't fallen into that stride yet. If I was going to change something about this drawing, I'd put more black on it. I'm not going to lie. I don't know why his crotch and, above his knee, or his one knee is all black, but his back, feet, foot isn't really that black. I don't know. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. But we're getting there. We are getting there. This was a little drawing I did in about 5 minutes for my buddy for some Denny's. You still owe me Denny's. A fire drawing though, I'm not gonna lie. Now we're cooking a little bit. Okay, let me see if I can open this without spoiling every other one. This Venom one. This is the first time I ever used watercolors, and I actually think it looks pretty cool. and you know, since you already saw it, same thing on the Bane here. I love this. I really like this one. This is up to this point, this was probably my favorite drawing of the year. And you know, I think that really boils down to just slapping some more detail on it, putting some more black on the page, and like up here, just throwing ink, man. And then I did this one with exclusively brushes, and it clicked. It clicked hard. I fuck with this drawing. And then I did these two pieces. I did this one. This one's going to be a gift for my grandma for her birthday. Don't tell. But I think it looks pretty damn sick. I think it's one of my favorite portraits I've done. And you know why? Because this page has a lot of black on it. There's a lot of detail. And I like that. I wasn't putting enough black on these pages, man. Like, at all. I don't get it either. I really looked at those. I was like, oh yeah, send it. Good. Like, what? All right. And then I did this one. I did Zombie Conquest. And this one's okay. Going back to practice a little more. There's some fingers, a little outline of War Machine. I tried to do like a solid black piece with the Gargantuan Leviathan, I think, and I just didn't quite get it. There's a Ben Reilly sketch, another Ben Reilly sketch. Oh, I think I was practicing something. I think I was practicing from reference and then from the head. There's Venom. Here's a Omni-Man sketch I did. There's a thumbnail of that guy. And I think I know the issue with the actual drawing, and I think I know how to fix it. Here is a little ballpoint pen sketch of the Dune sandworm, and I was reading the books when I drew that. This is Greg. Somebody named him Greg in my comments. Here's another little, like, because what I do is I put a bunch of squiggly lines on there, and then I make a drawing from that, and yeah. And then I drew this. This is probably my favorite drawing of the year so far. Or one of my favorite drawings. It's definitely in the top two. Here is that Dr. Doom piece in black and white. Here was a Ghost Rider portrait I did, and I did this almost solely with brush pens. I drew this for my partner's 21st birthday. This is My Little Pony Wolverine. Kind of hit my redemption with Wolverine on this one, I'm not gonna lie. I drew this for my grandfather's birthday. I've gotten really into drawing cards. He loves Ghostbusters, so I had to draw the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, of course, and then drew a little pyramid head piece. Really happy with that one. Oh, here's the colored Ghost Rider and Doom. Here's one I actually went back and fixed, and it looks a lot better now. So I drew this, and I was pretty happy with it, but I wasn't as happy as I wanted to be. And then I actually ended up going to SummerCon, and I met Todd Beats. Shout out Todd. He told me, do this. That's pretty cool. That, pretty cool. Animal drawing I was doing, I need to do more of this. This is the newest Spider-Man I've drawn. This looks better than most of the other Spider-Man I've drawn. I used to draw Spider-Man all the time in middle school. And I suck at drawing Spider-Man. Furious, yesterday. I'm pretty happy with how that's coming out. Again, I'm working on armor. This is a piece I did. I'm trying to branch out and do more women drawings, and you know, I think this one looks okay. There's that full piece. And you know, it's a little cluttered, I won't lie, and I probably will hate this in like 6 months. But put a lot of work into it, and looks better than how it did. This was not all blacked out at first. It was supposed to look like another tree, but it was confusing as hell. It looked horrible. And I mean, it already looks kind of confusing here. This was definitely the most contentious part of the drawing. So I blacked it out, and I replaced it with, well, this black streaking, and it kind of made the tree go up this way so you could still see it. And yeah, looks okay. And then my newest finished piece, which I posted on YouTube, you guys can go watch it here, is this Nemesis. And this is tied for the favorite drawing with Transformers. I really, really like this one. And I hope I'm going to like this one for a while because I think I did really good. I really like the face, and I really like the hand up here. I think that looks great. So that brings me to pretty much the end. I have one more piece that I will show. I am working on, I'm doing a Grimlock piece. And again, I'm trying to do something I just learned, where I'm going to be doing this outline, and then I'm going to try putting the shading and stuff in first, and which I don't usually do, which is kind of weird, and then going in and doing the really, really small details after I get all this outline finished. But if this shapes up to what I want it to be, this could be another favorite. That is about it. I appreciate you guys watching. I know this is going to be kind of a longer one, rambling. You know, it's kind of nice to just get in front of the camera and talk. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys waiting for the next Jak Attack Hero video, which is going to be on... It's Resident Evil 1. You guys voted for it, so don't complain. It's Resident Evil 1, and I'm excited to play it. Probably gonna try and play the first 3 games, because I just want to, and then I want to maybe play the first 3 Silent Hill games. But we'll get there when we get there. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a great day wherever and whenever you are. And that's about it. Later.